Hey everyone, thanks for logging on to My Fox Hurricane. I'm meteorologist Valerie Mills. Today marks the official end of the 2025 hurricane season, and we look back at the numbers where we saw a total of 13 named storms this season, 5 of which went on to become hurricanes, and 4 of those topping out as major Category 3 or above hurricanes. So even though we had a fewer number of storms compared to an average season where we typically picked up on 14 named storms, we saw stronger storms with 3 out of 4 of those major hurricanes ending up becoming Category 5 storms. And that is the most that we have seen in a single season in quite some time. What was interesting, though, this season also is the first time in the last decade where we did not have a landfalling hurricane here in the U.S. 2015, that was the last season that only featured one major hurricane. But this one, as we look at the 3 tracks of our Category 5 storms, started out with Erin. That one tracked right up the East Coast, and even though it didn't make any landfall in the States, we really saw impacts from the East Coast of Florida all the way up the Atlantic coast with some really rough surf and ocean conditions as that passed right in between Bermuda and the Carolinas. Then came Umberto, another one with a similar track, just a little bit closer to Bermuda, and then topping things out with Hurricane Melissa that ended up making landfall along the southwest coast of Jamaica. That was the last storm that we had this season, and it lands in the record books for multiple reasons. That was the strongest hurricane to make landfall, tying with 2 other hurricanes. Hurricane Dorian back in 2019 that made landfall along Elbow Cay in the Bahamas, and then we have the Labor Day hurricane back in 1935 that making landfall in the Florida Keys, and then a second landfall along the west coast of Florida near Cedar Key. All 3 of these hurricanes had 185-mile-per-hour winds at landfall. So Hurricane Melissa, that was along the New Hope area of Jamaica, where we still are only a couple of weeks past when that storm made landfall. Here's a look at all of the tracks that we had this season. Chantal, that was the only one to make landfall in the States. That was as a tropical storm along the coast of the Carolinas. Melissa, that was the only storm to make its way into the Caribbean. And then we had Barry, a quick system that came off the Yucatan and made landfall there in Mexico. That was the only one, though, in the Gulf. So you see this season very notable for the storms that remain in the Atlantic, these sharp curves to the north, and in many cases out to sea. We had several fish storms this season that kind of weaved in and out of some of the islands, not making any direct landfall. As we compare this year to last year, in 2024, we had a total of 18 named storms, 13 this season. And as we look at the hurricanes, we picked up on a total of 11 hurricanes during the 2024 season, with 5 this year. Just goes to show you every season is unique, as well as every storm is unique. We'll continue to keep you updated, and looking ahead to the 2026 hurricane season, we'll start to give you some updates there as we look ahead to that.